Good day, class. Today we're going to discuss about the forms of non-state institutions. Bear with me because I must target a 15-minute discussion or explanation with this. So let's begin. First of it, on this topic or lessons, we have different subtopics. These are banks. We're talking about banks, corporations, cooperatives, labor trade unions, and other non-state institutions. So these are the different non-state institutions uh, present here in our country or here in our locality or community. So at the end of the period, you as the students will be able to define banking institutions, explain the different banking systems in the country, raise the presence of bank institutions in the community. So aside from that, we are also going to learn about corporations, cooperatives, labor trade unions, and other non-state or non uh, other non-state institutions. So let's proceed. What is banks? Banks is banking institutions or companies, corporations, or associations, or any lawful organizations that are being approved by the government. Being approved by the government to lend funds acquired from the general population or us, the citizens, through the receipt of deposits and the sale of bonds or obligations of any kind. So in banking, what we do there is we have the basic concept of banking. We deposit money and we withdraw money. Okay, so that is banking. So for example, if we are going to differentiate banking to a typical coin bank like this, for example, like this, okay, in this coin bank you can never earn interest. Okay, you're just putting here money. The money is stagnant. Okay, unless if you add money, sample one in your first day you put 5 pesos, the next day you put another 5 pesos, the next day again you put another 5 pesos, so it's already 15 pesos. If you do not do anything with this, it will only remain 15 pesos at the end of the month, at the end of the year. But if in banking we have this what we call interests. Okay, these interests are is the money that can be added to your deposited money. Okay, it is not really a big money that can be added in your deposits, but there is a money that will going to be added. It could be either monthly, quarterly, or annually. Okay, so that is banks. Banks of different types. We have universal and commercial banks. So these are banking institutions that grant short-term loans, okay, short-term loans and varieties of banking services. So different banking services can be accommodated by universal or commercial banks. It represents the largest group, resource-wise, of financial institutions in the country, meaning they are most common here in our community, in the Philippines. So you can see anywhere from different towns or provinces or cities that you can see different universal and commercial banks. And it's wholesale banking, retail banking, and investment banking. So just what will be being said in the first statement, it accommodates different low varieties of banking services. So these are the examples of universal and commercial banks. BDO, Banco de Oro, we have that here in Canilan. BPI, I think we have also Bank of the Philippine Islands branch here in Canilan, I think. BPI is also, if I'm not mistaken, it is like the oldest bank here in our country. I don't know, I'm not really sure on that, but if I'm not mistaken, it is BPI. Bank of Commerce. Bank of Commerce, I don't think we have that here in Karinan, but in downtown area, I see Bank of Commerce branch. East West Bank, I also see that here in our community. Next is the Thrift Bank banking system, specializing in offering savings accounts and home mortgages for clients. So it is more common to the services of savings account and home mortgages for clients. So mortgage, it is like loaning money when you buy property. Okay. Specifically on housing or lots, that is mortgages, but we have even not anymore dig deeper on that. Savings and loan association. So we have this savings and loan that is primarily the banking services that Thrift Bank system offers. It accumulates savings from depositors and then invest it Okay, so when depositors has this money that being deposited on the bank, that money now is being also invested by this banking system. That is also one way of how banks earn. Okay, short-term working capital as well as medium and long-term financing to businesses engaged in agriculture. These are the different sectors that you can use uh, in terms of banking or thrift banking system, services, industry, and housing, and diversified financial and allied services and to their chosen markets and constituencies, especially small and medium enterprises and individuals. So again, thrift bank system, it focuses on savings and loans of clients. Okay, so these are the ranking of the total. I think this is the top performing total assets ranking of the top total assets of thrift banks here in our country as of December 31, 2023. So just see on it. Next is rural and cooperative banks, most well-known type of banks in the rural communities, or like here in Kalinan, we are still being identified as a rural community. So we are not yet really a highly urban community. Role is to promote and expand the rural economy by helping the people in the rural community with basic financial services. So when we say rural community, these are communities located in agricultural, mainly in the agricultural sector and agricultural community, where mostly of the people there have these livelihood of farming, fishing. Those are types of rural economy or community. They help the farmers through the stages of production from planting to selling of their products. So meaning these cooperative or rural cooperative banks are helping the farmers in terms of financial assistance or aids that is associated to their livelihood or income sources of income, which is farming. Okay, so rural banks are owned privately. It is not owned by the government. And then cooperative banks are owned and managed through cooperatives or federations. So later on, we are going to discuss what is cooperative. So these are again the different types or examples of cooperative banks here in our community. We have East West Rural Bank. I think East West man siguro 'tong nasa guys ano, but I'm not really sure. Kantilan Bank, we have this here in Kalinan, ONB. Before we have ONB, One Network Bank, but it is now I think BDO. But ONB is owned by BDO, so what? Ano, this is not Bank of Commerce, this is ONB. And MSCB, Metro South Co-op Bank. Okay, so let's just explain or just summarize what is banks. A lot of questions. How does bank earn? One of the most common questions of how does bank earn? When you deposit a money, that money now is being also granted as a source of loans to other people. Example, I deposit a money, 50K, example, 50K. That money is now being used by the bank for those other people that will loan to the bank. Okay. So if a person will loan 50K, my 50K will be the money that being used by the bank. This is just a basic concept. This is just a basic concept. This is not really the how the total system of or total banking system. This is just a basic fundamentals of the concept of banking. Now that 50,000 is being lended to the other people, and that person will have to return that 50,000 based on the agreed time period with the interest that is being added by the bank upon the payment of the loan being requested or being asked by other people. Okay, so that interest will be the profit of the bank. Okay, so that's how bank earns. Next is this is we will talk about corporations. Okay, we are now finishing banking. Let's now talk about corporations. These are legal entities that are independent and distinct from their owners, meaning they are a separate entity. This is bank. This is corporation. This is the owner. They are separate. They are not like this, but they are separate entity. Okay, so corporations they enjoy most of the rights. The corporation itself, responsibilities that people also have. Okay, they can enter agreements. This corporation can enter agreements, loan, borrow money, sue and be sued, recruit workers, own assets, and pay taxes. Okay. Corporation is a separate entity, separate from its owners. Okay, separate from its owners. For example, the owners are five. This corporation is one. It is a legal entity, a separate entity that can agree on different agreements, loan and borrow, sue and be sued, recruit workers, etc. Next is this corporation may be non-profit organizations engaged in activities for the public good. One of the that is how NGOs, most of NGOs, some NGOs works, especially if it's for public, their agenda or goals are for public use. Be they are commonly seen as non-profit or walay kita na organizations. Municipal corporations such as cities or towns or private organizations that are organized to profit. These are commonly founded by business owners. In legal interpretations, corporation is like a person, marami siya o tao because it has its legal rights. Okay, it is a separate entity that has the power to buy, sell, and own property. Okay, so mura jud tao, a corporation. It can enter into leases and contracts, mga agreements, and it can even bring lawsuits, pasakal kaso or makasuhan. It also must pay taxes, or if it can be prosecuted and punished if it breaks the law. Okay, so that is corporations. For example, uh, LeBron James. Example, LeBron James owns a restaurant. That means LeBron is a sole proprietorship. Pinakasugod pa lang na pinakasugod si LeBron na ay restaurant. Siya pa lang ang owner. And that is being called sole proprietorship. Nag-inusarang tag-iya. Okay, that is LeBron. This is LeBron and this is a restaurant. For example, again, if the restaurant is owned by LeBron and five business partners, let's say they are five, that means they are the owners of that restaurant. They still have the control of this restaurant or this business. Okay, that is not yet a corporation. That can be company. Okay, uh that can be seen as a company because they still have the control of the business. Corporation will only happen if the restaurant is a separate entity. Nibulag na ang restaurant sa ilahang pamamalakad mismo. Not necessarily na nitiwalag na wala na sila control, but limited na ilang control sa restaurant. Meaning to say, if ever ang restaurant, the corporation, owns a debt of 1 million USD, kani siyang restaurant, for example, this restaurant na jud kinare 500,000 USD tapos ang utang kay 1 million. The owners, sila LeBron and friends, is not liable to pay the lacking of 500,000 USD. Kaya separate naman sila. Okay? Mao na siya ang advantage sa corporation. Ang owners ana or founders ana, ma-separate siya. So kung unsay pwede mahitabo silang corpo. Okay? So that is corporation. And the payment of that debt shall only be coming from the assets of the corporation itself. Corporation ay bahala jud ana dapat na mangitag paraan para makabayan ana ng kwarta. Okay? So that is corporation. That is just the basics of corporation. So it's not anymore dig into it. So if you want to know more about corporations, just search this in YouTube. It will explain to you the basic concept of a corporation. So these are the different examples of corporation. Aboitiz Power, the owner of Davao Light, not the owner but run by run Davao Light is being run by Aboitiz Power Corporation, San Miguel, Ayala, SM, Petron, etc. Now let's see what is cooperatives. It promotes and undertakes savings and lending services among their members, generate common pool of funds to provide financial assistance and other related financial services to their members. Okay, so cooperatives promote the savings, again, savings and lending services among their members only of the cooperative. If bank is available to all, anyone who wants to open a bank account, you can do that. But in cooperatives, it only accommodates those who are members of the co-op. Okay, member of the co-op generate common pool of funds to provide financial assistance